welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make some floating shelves. I have a prototype that I'll show you here in just a minute. I need to make 5 shelves, one of which is 12 feet long, and then there's 4 that are 64 inches long. They're going to all be mounted on the same wall. They're about 9 inches deep, which means I'm really going to have to sink some lag bolts into the studs in order to make them be able to carry a lot of weight, because they're going to display somebody's bourbon collection, which is going to be pretty expensive and pretty heavy. So I'll show you the prototype here in just a second, and then I'll show you some of the materials that I'm using. Here's a small prototype with a stained finish. What I like to do is I like to miter all the edges so it looks like one block. I could do it really easily and just butt the joints together, but I like this a whole lot better. Now there again, this is a prototype. You can still kind of see the seam a little bit, but it gives you some kind of an idea of what the edges look like. So I'm going to rough the other shelves up a little bit more than this one is, and then I will burnish the corners so you really can't see that seam at all once it's all stained. And then what I like to do is rub a little bit of darker stain around this, almost gives it that hand-hewn look. You can kind of see it's a sleeve. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a 2x4 that's mounted on the wall and as a cleat, and then it's going to have another 2x4 attached to it, because they're again, like I said, this comes out about almost about 9 inches. So we're going to be using some big lag bolts, which I did an experiment in my own house to make sure that it would work, and it seemed to work really well and stiffened up the shelves good. All right, so quick look at the components. This is one of the 64-inch shelves. You can see that the length is mitered and the depth as well. So everything's going to have the 45 on it. So here is the front piece, which has the 2 miters on the top and bottom and on the edge. So it'll rest on there so you won't see any end joints, end grain, I should say, all the way around. So I'm going to finish cutting these, and then we'll assemble one so you get a better idea. In the bottom and the front piece on, you can see how the miters line up, and you can see that it's basically a sleeve. So I'm getting ready to do the sides now. I made this jig to kind of keep it in place while I was braiding them in with some glue. I'm going to go back through and add finish nails later just to keep it strong, but the glue is going to hold it just fine. And then you can see some of the miters need to be closed up a little bit more, but once it gets the sides on, it's going to push those closed a little bit more. Not worried about it at all, because I'm going to burnish the sides the front and all the corners and everything, so it's all going to melt together once it's sanded. And this is going to be distressed, and it's going to have dark stain on it, so it's not going to matter. So getting ready to do the sides, and then I'll show you what it looks like once it's all put together. Alright, so the sides are in. It's all put together. I wasn't super worried about the joints lining up perfectly. You can see there's a gap there, but then I'll show you here. This is something, a real quick demonstration, but you can see what happens when you burnish it. And it starts to come together, and this is going to be so distressed and stained, and there's going to be a little bit of fill in it, but you're never going to see those joints, and it's going to look like one big piece of wood floating on the wall. Alright, all the fabrication of the floating shelves is done. So we got the 4 that are 64 inches long, and this one that is 12 foot long. So that's a big one. So the next video will be the installation. I'll show you how this is going to be mounted to the wall. These are 9 inches deep, so they go out pretty far. So we'll be using some long lag screws to secure them to the wall. We'll take you through that process in the next video. Thanks for watching.